Hello my castaways, and welcome to my custom percent speedrun. So the basic idea here is that instead of a normal world with randomly generated islands, we can make our own with all the supplies and weapons and everything we need. Now the reason I'm doing this, the TLDR if you don't want to read all the stuff in the intro, is because someone tried to submit this type of run as the world record 80% speedrun. I told them no, we hadn't thought to put that explicitly in the rules, but custom islands aren't allowed for a few different reasons. Well, he took that very poorly and claimed that I only had my records because I was gatekeeping, never mind the fact that 80% of the runs submitted to speedrun.com are my runs. So this is my response to that, and my glaring example of why, despite being the moderator for the leaderboard, I hold those runs for a very different reason. All that nastiness aside, I had actually been playing around with the idea of doing a run similar to this for quite a while now, just to see how fast it was to possibly complete a SpeedyDeep speedrun, although I do admit I might have been spurred on by recent events. So let's see if I can speedrun my explanation of the island before my character gets off of it to go kill the bosses. So there we have our first crafting level, and you can see that I've been making fires for those with these kind of circles of strategically placed supplies. Now, these little plots are everything that I need to make a fuel still, and I did it this way because I was trying this out kind of in a trial period, and I had everything made out in a line and just took too much time to make all of these. And something else you might have noticed is that I have a whole lot of them. And one of the things I've discovered in trying to do this type of run is that it's so incredibly fast with all the supplies that you have that you actually have to make 8 fuel stills to distill each coconut individually to be able to complete it fast enough to actually be able to complete the speed run, well, as fast as possible. So that's why I have so many fuel stills there. So now we have all the coconuts made, just as simple as that. Had a pile of, flashings and coconuts laid out on the ground there, and with in between 2 trees, just in case I don't know, lost a coconut or something. And that's the food and water requirements for escaping right there. Now, we still need the crafting levels to go ahead and make those fuel stills, which is why I have this gigantic line of sticks, which we're going to use to make these crude fishing spears, which offer the most XP per individual item you can possibly craft. It's just way more efficient to craft spears with singular sticks than any other type of item that you have to place or make. So that's why I have this entire line of sticks, and that's all I really need it for, is just that. Now, right next to it, I have this giant line of spears, which is going to supply all the weapons that I need for any of the bosses, obviously. Refined spears here do the most damage than any weapon in the game. If you throw them, they do double damage than any weapon, than stabbing with this spear or with hitting with a refined axe, which is what I usually do for a speed run. So that's really good for, boss kill times. We're going to be able to take them out incredibly quickly. Alright, and with all those crude fishing spears, we already have level 4 or 5, I can't remember, crafting to be able to make these fuel stills. And unfortunately, I couldn't get everything quite close enough into this circle to just be able to craft them as I stood in front of them. Things kept on exploding out of them, so I did have to take some time to pick a few things up and then, have them sitting out in front of me so that the crafting menu could register all the items that I was using to craft these fuel stills. And then once we get these fuel stills made, we're just going to collect up the potatoes that you can see off in the distance over there to the left, maybe. You'll see them in a second whenever I pick 8 of them in record speed. So, I don't know if I missed the sticks on that one fuel still there, but I did have to run out to the line of sticks there just to be able to make this one. And I was having some issue with my mouse, which is why I paused it here for a second, but we'll be right back. There we go. So the idea here with these 8 fuel stills is that we're going to try to distill all of this gas as in the, I think it's 3.5 minutes it takes to distill 1 potato into gas. So by doing it in all 8 of these, we can get that done in 1 3-minute cycle, which should be just enough time for us to go off and kill all 3 bosses. Normally it would take me a couple minutes longer to kill those bosses, but since we have the extra power of the refined spears, it shouldn't even be a problem. Alright, we're getting our potatoes into the stills, and one of the problems I ran into when I did 3 total attempts of this run, And one of the problems I ran into both times before doing it was that I wasn't able to light these fires fast enough with kindling, because you have to do this every time. So I just made a torch. Obvious solution that I just didn't think of earlier. Alright, once these are all lit, we can basically drop all of our supplies here on the island. We don't have to have anything taking up our inventory except for spears and this little safety crate of rations, bandages, and the compass that we need to find our way. Well, we don't even really truly need the compass. I guess it's just like a security feature for me. Alright, and our inventory is full of refined spears, and one of the first things I did when I was making this island was I made these giant offshoots. You probably saw it in the intro, on the island. Now, these offshoots point to different places on the map, like this first one we went to, which is pointing right towards the Great Abia boss location, which is our first boss location. Since we have the ability to alter the map to our liking, we can just, you know, do things like that make it easier for us to find our way. Now, I'm so used to going through and hitting this guy with an axe that I was actually struggling around using the spears properly, I guess. Aiming, that's what it's called. And, but also trying to dodge him and maintain, like, a small distance from him so I could actually hit him. I'm doing a pretty good job here of hitting him from a far distance off, but I don't want to waste spears, obviously. It's just more time it takes. And as you can see with the refined spears, they go down pretty quick. Alright, first boss done. Now we need to shoot off to the east over to Lusca the Great. And since these fell right here, I'm just going to go ahead and collect these up off the floor. It's perfect. I usually need a whole lot of spears for Lusca, and I'm realizing right about now that I did not pick up my crate of spears that I had loaded up. So that was a bit of wasted time, but it works out alright. Hit a bit of a rendering barrier there, which made us stop, but yeah, little hiccup. Alright, we're going to get this out of our inventory. Get the rest of our spears out, and we're ready to go. So the usual Lusca glitch here, we go underneath the buoy chain, and he will disco glitch above us. And it makes it really easy to time your shots, and you can basically just shoot all of them all at once. Well, all at once. As fast as you possibly can. So I unfortunately have to go back and collect a few of these refined spears back up, because I know I just don't have just enough to be able to kill him. Especially if I keep on missing. Alright, and yeah, I also needed a few of those spears to be able to kill Meg. Since I don't have an axe with me, these are my only weapon to kill her with. And you can see those giant cliffs I put in the air. That was one of the other problems I ran into with doing the 2 prior runs to this, was that that island is so flat you can't actually see it unless you're popping up in the air, and that's a bit of an issue when, you know, you're trying to find it very quickly. And those cliffs are a very handy solution to that. Same with the Abia with this one. I actually found this a bit more difficult than just using the axe, because I actually have to follow Mega so quick. She's actually one of the quicker bosses. Well, she's the second quickest bosses out of the 3. I had to tail her pretty tightly, which is hard to do when you're aiming since it slows down your running speed. Alright, and that's all 3 bosses done in just under 10 minutes. So this is one of the reasons we wouldn't necessarily allow custom islands for an any percent speedrun. It kind of just takes all the fun out of it. There's not a lot of challenge to it because you have everything you possibly need. And not only that, but without the island map, you're not able to actually replicate this run. So I will have this map uploaded on Steam. If you so wish to try out this custom percent island or custom percent speedrun, but don't want to make your own map, you can use that to do your own speedrun. Nice. Alright, and we are back on the island, and I am just waiting on this fuel to distill. So it didn't even take us the full three and a half minutes to kill those bosses, as evidenced by the fact that the fuel is not distilled. So I'm really just doing everything I possibly can in the meantime, chopping up those coconuts, and I'm going to go ahead and get my plane parts made for the ending ship here in just a second, and that'll be done. Yeah, left that whole crate of spears there. I was thinking I'd have those in my inventory, but I actually don't have enough space with the plane parts I'm about to make, so still have to load that up, but obviously it's not very much of a time detriment. Alright, and now it's really just waiting on this. It didn't even actually matter how fast I beat those bosses because this is the one-time constraint on SpeedyDeep speedruns that you cannot get past. You have to distill this fuel, and with the ability to go this fast, there's just no way around it. There's a strict time constraint that you cannot get past. I don't actually think it's faster to beat SpeedyDeep in under 15 minutes, even with having this silver spoon, as I called it, with the perfect setup. So yeah, I'm kind of just playing around. I'm not used to having time to kill in a speedrun, so this is interesting. Now I use those trees off on the little spires of my island to denote which direction I needed to go. The Meg one wasn't so handy. That's the one off to the right. That was kind of just if I wasn't really sure which way Meg was pointing whenever I was popping up out of the water coming from Lusco the Great, then I could kind of easily see it, but not so handy. But I put that palm tree on the first one because it's like, oh, okay, we're all ready to go. Sorry, I got distracted talking about my own stuff. Yeah, so the fuel's all distilled, and we are off to the ending ship now. That biggest tree was just to say that was like the ending thing, so yeah, my rambling aside. Now, unfortunately, if you've watched the video about how the speed walking glitch works, that works through my mouse wheel, and my mouse wheel is deteriorating, it seems, or getting too gunked up or something, but it is not going as fast as it used to, so it's actually taking me quite a bit longer to get from one place to the other. You may not be able to notice it, but trust me, I definitely do when I'm doing the run. So now we're here at the ending ship, and because we got here so fast, the ramp the whole island technically isn't rendered in. I'm gonna drop my crate of food here in a second, and because of the way this island is, oh, never mind. Okay, I guess I didn't do that on this run. But basically, this entire ship is not even really there. You just fall right through it until that ramp renders in. So I'm stuck waiting there. Even if you drop crates, which is what I was trying to say. Even if you drop crates on the island, nothing actually appears in them until that ramp renders in for some reason. I've never actually seen that on another island, but interesting little glitch, I guess. Alright, that's food and water in. Just gotta pop our plane parts on. Put some gas in the engine. And we're basically done. Now we just have to go through the ending sequence of hitting the buttons, and that's the speedrun, baby. Yeah, that was an interesting little bit. I guess since it was so late in the day, it went ahead and fast forwarded through night to early morning. Yeah. Seen that happen before. It's usually when I'm getting there at nighttime, not late in the day. Just these last few interactables, and we are done. Now, I'm pretty sure I could very well beat this a little bit faster, but it's not really on my agenda to try and top this timeout like it is with the any% speedrun, so probably be leaving this one at that unless I get somebody who beats my time. But I'm interested to see who that'll be. Oh yeah, we were almost able to pick up that jerry can there. That was really interesting. I wonder if I picked that up, if my character would be hitting these buttons and stuff with the jerry can in his hand, since I don't technically have anything in my hand right now. Alright, and launch there. That's the time. And that's it, folks. We're done. That is the fastest Strain of Deep has ever been completed. I don't really feel great about saying it that way, though, because this isn't the right way to beat the game. I don't, you might feel that even my glitches and my any% is not the right way to beat the game, but this is surely not the right way to do a speedrun. I am interested in it, and I'm not saying that to be disparaging of the fellow who was so unhappy with me. Really don't hold him any ill will, but I did feel that I needed to make the point that I have these records because I love this game so much and because I play it so much. I feel like I did that. So all that being said, if you guys enjoyed this speedrun, I guess, or just the drama from it, drop a like and subscribe and, keep on surviving.